Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, this video will be a continuation from the last video talking about micro-light fishing or micro baits. I found some more baits that are micro in size, and over the years they have flat out caught fish for me and some of the most difficult times. One bait on the last video that I saw sitting on the bottom of the screen that I did not talk about was the old Johnson Beetle Spin. This is like a very old school type of a spinner bait. I don't know how big it was up in the north, but I know for a fact down in the south this was a staple for many generations of folks. This lure is 53 years old. It was designed and made by Chuck Wood. It's still sells hundreds of thousands of these baits. There's a couple other bait companies that have made other stuff like this. But one of the cool things of this is that you're able to change out the size of the jig head. So if you want a smaller piece of plastic on it, maybe not so heavy of a jig head, you could put it on there. The reason they call it a beetle spin is that it had such a small blade on it. At first, it was the size of a beetle. So that's where, hence the name, Beetle Spin. I myself have fished this in East Texas, and I have flat out caught some fish, and very difficult fishing. Was not my first option to throw, but I ended up throwing it, and I ended up catching some fish with it. So it is tried and true. Not saying it's going to catch you a 10-pounder by any means. But, so, the first video I talked about some of these baits that I utilize, like some of these little pink-headed minnows with the curl tail, open hook, size 1/8 of an ounce all the way down to, a 1/32, maybe even a 1/16. Like this is obviously smaller head on it. Still, they flat out get bit. I tend to always rig the tail down. I feel like I get the most action with the tail when it's rigged down compared to rigged up. But it just it's up to you and what you want to do. But let's go ahead and run through some of these baits on here. They're micro baits. I've thrown these baits on 4-pound to maybe 6-pound mono at most. Most of the time it's going to be 4-pound monofilament. So we're talking super small baits. Whether you have a pond, a big massive lake, a little creek, little, small part of a river, all these baits will shine. I've caught some monster fish on this little popper made by Rebel. I put a front red hook on it and I throw it on 6-pound monofilament on a little Micro-Lite. And yes, this Rapala floater diver and the rainbow trout color will get smashed. Same with this Rapala X-Wrap, I think it is. It's like a jerk bait. So, you're not limited on the type of baits that you can throw on those two little spinning rod and reels, the Micro-Lites, 5-foot and 5'2" rod, 2-piece. Here's a little blade bait. Obviously, you need to put a clip on it to make it more effective. Here's another floater diver. Flat out catch a trout, panfish, anything. If you're old like me, most of you might remember the old crick hopper. This might not be the crick hopper. This looks like a crankbait, but there's two types of them. There was a topwater version and a crankbait version. But either or are super effective for either bluegill, bass, white bass, whatever it may be. But tell me this isn't a pretty cool little challenge to challenge yourself. I'm definitely going to do another video, follow-up fishing video with these micro baits later in the summer. I've caught fish on this lure. This is made by Rebel. Very cool lure. I don't know what the hell this is. Something that sits on top of the water. Looks like a cicada bug or something. Don't really know, but I know for a fact it will catch a fish. These are little itty bitty craws that I put on a little ball head 1/8 of an ounce jig or a hook. And I rig it Texas style so you don't get snagged on anything, or you're less likely to. It's basically just a shaky head with little mini crawfish on it. These craws are made by Arky. You can rig them up a few different ways. You can rig them up so they're open hook. If you have less vegetation and less rock and just more of a clean bottom, I'd probably rig it like that. If you're dragging it along and you got a bunch of stuff around, I'd probably rig it up like this, Texas style, weedless. You could use twin tail grubs as well. I usually use these a lot more in the winter time than any other time of the year. But you can see Arky, they come up with these little craws. I've caught these craws, I've drop shot these craws in 20-30 feet of water over American Lake in Tacoma, and I've caught some smallmouth doing that. This is just a little spinnerbait where I stripped the skirt off and put a little grub on it. Yes, that's gonna be about the baits. If you're ever caught some bass on trout spinners or spinners, that's pretty fun as well. Definitely get bit. But yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys another little aspect of Micro-Lite fishing and more micro bait ideas that you can utilize, whether it's now in the brunt of the winter time, or it's later on and smack dab in the dog days of summer when it's pretty tough to catch bass and locate bass. But you always see these little stupid dinkers running around and these little small fish, and it might be fun to tie this up and get to working. Anyway, hit that like button for me. It helps my channel out. Thank you very much. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate it. I appreciate each and every one of you viewers, subscribers, and people that hit the like button for me. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Swimbait79 out.